Welcome to day one of our 12 Days of Christmas tutorials. Today we are going to paint a little ornament. It's got this little cabin on it, a little fence, a couple little trees. It's very small. You can get 3 to 5 inch little ornaments anywhere really. I got these on Amazon because I got a box of 12, but I hope that you follow along. Step by step is in the video. You can pause it anytime you want. All the supplies are in the comments. So let's get painting. Okay, let's get started. It would be really complicated if I tried to have you transfer an image. This is just a little thing. It doesn't have to be very complicated. So we're just going to start painting. I'm grabbing some of this blue and I'm mixing a little bit of Paynes gray, or you can use black. And that way when I sprinkle stars on it, it's going to be visible. The stars will stand out. If you make it a real light blue like this blue is, this is ultramarine blue. By itself, it tends to be a little too bright, and sometimes the stars don't show up as well. But it's up to you. It's your world. You can do whatever you want in it. If you're using one of these that has bark on the edge, I usually don't paint over the bark, but you can if you want to. I'm coming down right about to the middle with my sky. And it can be a little lighter towards the bottom. You could even dip into your white and put some clouds in there if you want, but sometimes if you put clouds, you can't see the stars as well, so I'm just giving you some options. I'm going to paint over that because I didn't like how light it got. That works well. I'm going to be able to see my stars. Okay, so we'll clean my brush and go into my white, and I'm going to cover the bottom with this white really well. The trees are going to go over this, so don't worry about them. The little cabin goes over this too. It's just easier to get our background done first. The really cheap paints sometimes don't transfer really well, or they're a little transparent rather, so they don't cover as well. But I'm using Deco Art Americana, which you can get at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon. Don't know whether they have it at Walmart anymore. They used to, but I haven't seen it in a while. They have a lot of paints, but it's like their own brand. And I like this Deco Art Americana. So a little bit of this blue with the white mixed in lets us put some shadows in our snow. And they don't have to be in an exact place. We just want to create some shadows so that it looks like there's little hills or something here. It just makes it more interesting. You can clean your brush and wipe it off and then blend them just a little bit while your brush is damp. It sort of smooths them out a little. There we go. Okay, now let's see if we can't get our little cabin on here. Okay, I've got a little bit of dark brown on my brush, and I'm going to show you where. So the door to this cabin is really right smack in the middle. So find the middle, and that's where our door's going to be. Okay, so that helps us go build around it. So at a little bit of an angle coming down to the right, we're going to put the front and the sides. I'll lighten my brown just a little bit. Burnt sienna. Make sure I can see it better. Then a little triangle on top. And it comes down to the bottom of the front of the house, and that little door was right there. And then the little cabin comes over, not quite to the edge. You want to have a little tree right there, so leave yourself room for a tree. And this is just a what is it, parallelogram, I think. Anyway, I can't remember what they call it, but it's sort of a skewed rectangle. And then, of course, the roof is white. So let's clean the brush. And we can go ahead and grab a little bit of white and mix it with a little bit of that brown just to make a lighter color. And that lets us put some little stripes on the wood. Follow the direction of this angle right here so that it looks like little cabin lines for the wood. And then on this side, follow this bottom angle right here. It doesn't have to be, we're just hinting at it, right? The eye will finish the rest of it. Now I'm going to take some of my Paynes gray, or you can use black if that's what you have, and go under the eaves right here because there's a shadow under the snow. So there's shadow right there, and there's shadow right here. And then we can go ahead and put this little door back. Again, that little door is right in the middle. Okay, clean your brush. And now we're going to go into our pure white and get the snow on top of this little guy. I was correcting the pitch line on the roof there a little bit so I can put my shadow back in. Now, because that's going over fairly fresh paint, it lightened it just a little bit, but that's all right. We're just going to wait for it to dry and put another layer on anyway. You can add a little chimney if you want one. I did because I wanted smoke on mine. I painted this on vacation with a friend of mine. And we painted this little cabin. We wanted smoke coming out of ours. So there's our little chimney. See how there's not a great amount of detail going into this? Don't want to frustrate yourself. Now our fence is real easy. It doesn't have to be straight because we're pretending it's one of those old fences, you know. So just make these little lines that are somewhat the same distance, equidistant. And then you can put two little lines between each one. And the reason I'm not making a whole line across is these old fences that they made out of tree limbs, they were never quite even. They really do look like this because they're just kind of sticking them on there, you know, and grab another tree and stick it on there. So they were never perfectly straight or anything. Okay, let's put his little windows in. I'm going to start with white. And then we'll go over it with a little yellow so it looks like the light's shining out of them. There's a little attic in this cabin. See if that's dry enough to put more snow on. Acrylic dries really, really fast. Now, that cabin came out really dark. So if that happens, you can grab a little lighter color or mix a little white with that color and create a bit of a tan. And just go over making little slats, and it will brighten up that cabin and make it stand out. But my idea was that I wanted it to look like it was dusk, and so I didn't really want it to have a whole lot of light on the cabin. That way the windows and the roof would shine. We're going to put a little shadow on parts of the roof. Okay. Now I talked about stars, so before I put in my trees, I'm going to grab some white and just very lightly, barely touch. I am literally barely touching this. And if you feel like it's too dark, you can always wipe off just a little bit by tapping on. You don't want to move it, you just press down. You can have a little star too if you want, by painting a little sort of a plus sign almost. Okay, there's our stars. I'm rinsing off my brush and I'm mixing it with just a little bit of my black so that it looks gray. I'm going to get rid of that star and just make smoke coming out of the cabin. There we go. I like that better. Doesn't that look homey? Now a little bit of yellow. Make those windows look like they're got light coming out of them. Don't paint your snow yellow. Mom has always warned us about yellow snow, right? Okay, dark green. If you don't have dark green, you can mix a little bit of blue with a light green and it will darken it. This is really dark. I really need my lighter green here. I can go over it with some dark green if I need to. So see the movement of my brush? I'm just coming out from the middle. And I'm going to mix some dark green with that. Maybe we can find middle ground here where it's visible but not so bright. That's better. We're going to put a little snow on the trees anyway, so. Okay. Now I'm going to put two trees over here because I got a little more room. Let's see, one's going to be right there and one's going to be right here. Okay. Now everybody's is going to look different, and that's the way it ought to be. So if you look at yours and you go, it doesn't look just like yours, it's not supposed to. Because the whole thing about art is that you paint what you see. And so sometimes we don't all see the same thing. And that's perfectly fine. I teach classes in person, and when I do that, everybody's always look different. And I like that. I'm just putting a little more snow here. And you know what? Let's put some little footprints. Maybe somebody is going out for a little walk. That's cool. I didn't do that on the other one. He had to go get some wood for the fireplace. You can touch up anything you want, or you can just leave it like that. And then we're going to put some snow on our tree limbs. I think our roof is probably light enough to, or dry enough to add our top layer of snow. And it was good. I'm going to leave a little of that shadow just because it needs to have a little bit of shadow. Okay, and then I'm going to take snow and put it on my trees. I'm using about the same shape as I did before, same brush stroke as I did before. Just imagine the snow, there's branches in the front too, so don't do this all the way across. It's going to look funny. There's always little branches in the middle too, and so if you do that, it like there's no middle to it. So if you watch this, I'm going to put a little in the middle and then a little to the side, little in the middle, little to the side, and that makes it look like it's got middle branches too. This one may not be dry enough, but we're going to try. Okay, there you go. There's our day one little ornament painting. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you come back for tomorrow's project. I hope that was fun. I hope the project inspired you, and if it did, follow the link to paintingtogether.com. I have lots of tutorials there. I've just introduced my very first mini art kits. Everything's in them. Brushes, canvases with a drawing already on them, paints, full instructions with step-by-step pictures and written instructions, and a little palette as well. Great gift. So Merry Christmas, and we'll see you tomorrow.